Rock stars. There's literally nothing like those wild parties. All I did was drink and party and go to rock concerts.
So I got VIP access to a certain very hot rock star's room.
This was getting a little intense for my liking.
What's your problem?
Okay.
Look, bitch, I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you're no better than the rest of us.
Hey, come on, you gotta go. I'll call you.
Hey, what would you say if I were to tell you that rock stars like Terry would pay for your attention and you would be a multi-millionaire because of it?
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Capri, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
This is Vicky Judy. Orange is the new black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Trina Parks, and you're listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And nothing less. What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with the Director of the Jedi Council. I am the Director. We'll be with you for the next however long we can stay on because the connection is really crazy today. Forewarning. Today I'm on the road at the moment. I'm in a hotel, and I'll tell you why. But so the connection here is really sketchy. So we'll see how we do. I might be able to switch it over to my other Wi-Fi connection. Maybe my hotspot might work better. We'll see. Let's see how this works out. Let me just see how it's coming on here. It's looking very pixelated. So we'll see how it works. But see if I can do that. But either way, we're trying to broadcast for you. 1 second. Cool. So Real Talk is brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on YouTube, the IE Network. Okay. So, and Twitter and Facebook coming to you live. So, all right, first things first. Why am I in a hotel? Well, I'll tell you why. Number one, I came to a hotel in order to try and avoid getting my house sick because I went to a film festival on Saturday, the Orlando Urban Film Festival, and where I was nominated for an award, and I caught COVID. So I am now quarantining in a hotel because I did not want to get my family sick. So I've been here since last week, and $700 later, still here. So I've been I haven't been like really sick, thank God. But the bottom line is, you know, it's this. I could have been avoided. I probably shouldn't have went to the film festival. I haven't been out places at all. It was at a movie theater down here, and the only time I went to the movie theater since COVID was to see Spider-Man. I was nervous about that, but I came out okay. But now I went for the film festival, and lo and behold, I am now COVID positive. So that sucks. But we're gonna try to do the show. I apologize for the sketchy uh, internet, but we're gonna try to give it a shot. If it gets too crazy, I'll try to switch to my hotspot. If the hotspot doesn't work, who knows? Maybe I'll come off video, and if that don't work, then maybe we'll end the show early. We'll see how it goes. We had another guest. I appreciate that. Joseph, thank you for telling me. I'm okay. I am stuck in a hotel. Yeah, that sucks. Hotels are cool, but when you're here on your own, away from your family, trying to protect them as much as you can for your foolish mistake. Yeah, it's kind of suck. Mentally, it's not a good thing. It messes with you mentally. I'm grateful that I'm not down and out sick because I'm an asthmatic and things like that, and I'm grateful that I'm not down and out sick. But we're here, so let's see if we can try to get through the show. He says, try not to get cabin fever. I will try not to. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty much a homebody, Joseph. I don't go many places. That's what makes me angry that I went and caught this because of the fact that I don't go a lot of places. So we take a look. I was looking over on YouTube. Yeah, it looks real messed up over there in YouTube. We'll see. I'm gonna switch my connection in a minute and see if that works, and we'll see. If not, we'll try to get through it. We do have a guest. Last time we did have Diosa was our guest, female guest host. She will be rejoining us. I think she's having some technical difficulties herself over there, but she's supposed to rejoin us today. So today we want to talk about just a few things, man. Number one, Spider-Man No Way Home has now surpassed Avatar, I read, at the in the box office. So kudos to them. I'm glad they did. And then we have so that's the one thing. Obviously, Spider-Man No Way Home is really kind of doing its thing at the box office. So that's what's up. Let's see. Shout out to the Orlando Urban Film Festival. Like I said, they had an awards ceremony over there. We didn't win either. That's what's funny. So I'm like, I went out there for nothing. I mean, not for nothing. I did win like second place or whatever, honorable mention, whatever. And I'm grateful for whatever, acknowledgement. But I probably just shouldn't have went, and I did. So the Omicron variant is running rampant everywhere, and it's very easy to catch. even when you're being very careful, which I thought I was. And yeah, so here we are. So today we wanted to talk a little bit. First thing is we wanted to talk about Euphoria. So Zendaya has come under fire for because she's one of the executive producers of the show Euphoria on HBO and HBO Max. And I don't think it's fair what type of fire she's coming under, but we'll talk about that. Also today we want to talk a little bit about uh, the cast of the new Color Purple, the Color Purple redo, kind of. It's a musical version. It's a movie of the musical. So it's a musical remake or like the Broadway play version of it, but it's brought to the screen. Talk a little bit. The cast has been announced. Oprah Winfrey is producing it, and the cast has been officially announced. Then we will probably, if we can get any more time in because of whatever, we may like to switch a little bit and talk about the Power universe, the finale of Power Book 2 Ghost premiered this weekend, along with the premiere, a debut premiere of Power Book 4 Force. So both of them came out over the weekend. And Raising Kanan Book 3 they're shooting season 2 now, as so is Book 2 Ghost shooting their third season. So the Power universe is in full effect now. It's really finally started moving. Like they in a position now that they can have a Power show going pretty much all throughout the year. And they're, the rumors are they're trying to work on the Book 5, which is called Influence. So if they get that one going, that's going to be Lorenz Tate's character, and they kind of set him up in the finale of Ghost of season, Book 2 Ghost. So I think they're trying to set his character up for his show Influence, where he will be playing the same, the Tate, the politician, and hopefully be able to, we'll talk about Power on his end. He's going to be running for like governor or something like that. So that's some of the things we're going to try to touch on today. Once again, everyone, I apologize for the weak connection if it's a little blurry and things like that. I will try to move. If I need to, I can move to just turn off my camera. That might make things move a little better, and we'll go from there. So yeah, you're watching Real Talk, the Jedi Council director. I'm the director, and I brought one half of my Jedi Council is with me, and we make sure Kev has got his link if he wants to, or if he can come in. And once I see that, but until then, let's bring in Ralph. What's going on, man?
What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Sorry, man, that you're not feeling well. Speedy recovery.
Yeah. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's something, man. It's like I'm grateful that I'm not like down and out sick. I am grateful for that. I'm just mentally it's a little taxing because I got my kid at home, and unfortunately they're starting to get sick too. So really I just blew $700. I came here in order for them to not get sick, and then they're starting to get sick. So Still wound up catching it. So my experiment failed basically. So it really did. It just failed. I tried to, get out because they first tested negative, and I was like, okay, I'm out. If y'all test negative, I'm out of here. But this is what happens, man. This thing is real crazy, man. And it's just like it'll have
didn't
shit
even win.
messed up. Yeah, it'll have you messed up, man. It really will. But like I said,
you didn't even win.
Didn't even win. Nope. So I really shouldn't even. I shouldn't even have win.
No justice. No justice.
I should not. I should not have even attended. I mean, shout out to the film festival. I appreciate any recognition. It was thousands of entries, and I was nominated. It was only down to 4 nominations. Out of thousands of entries. And in that particular category, hundreds of entries. So it's always a blessing to be even, nominated or screening at a film festival. It was for a music video that I did actually 2 years ago, and because I originally submitted it before the pandemic hit, so then they went out of they didn't have one during one of the pandemics, and the next thing you know, here we go. So they brought it back, and then they brought me back. So I even submitted an old video, and it still made it. So says something about the work, but just not,
Yeah,
I
but
could have made the decision to stay.
But doesn't everybody say that? Like, I'm glad I was just here to, like they only want to say, man, F that. I wanted to win.
Well, of course you want, of course you want to win. But I mean, what I mean is, I'm not gonna downplay the fact that there's a lot of competition when it comes to these film festivals. It is what it is. I mean, but to be invited to a film festival is, or not, just not invited, but to make a film festival it's a competition, So it's the ultimate litmus test, right? People can actually, who don't know you, can just watch your work and judge it, right? So there you have it. I knew, what I had a good project in there, but the video we lost to was a really good video. I'm not ashamed of that. It was a timely video because it was talking about. It was called 2020, the year of the nurse, and the video was talking about COVID-19 and frontliners and stuff like that. It was a timely video. It was the type of video that is probably going to do well in a lot of film festivals, and not just because of the title or the topic, but that doesn't hurt. It was done very well. Don't get me wrong. The video was shot very well, and it had a message. So the message for it was what really, I think, pushed it through the festival. So, but that's not taking nothing away from it. Like I said, the technique of it was done. It was shot well. The song was nice. It was a good video. So, I mean, I had a good video too, but my video was really just a storytelling narrative video. So it didn't have a real message, and a message that kind of, hits home to people. So I kind of figured we might lose that one, but we wanted to go and show support and but unfortunately, I'll think twice next time before I do anything like that. Whether I think I'm gonna win or not, I'm gonna think twice about it. It's just I've been working so hard to try to avoid it, and then I run right into it, smack in my face. But that's that. Let's see. So Euphoria.
Man.
So Zendaya has come under fire, which I hate the fact that Zendaya has come under fire. People are people need to realize just because you see the word executive producer, it does not mean that she has creative control over anything. Casting, um, story,
Craft
nah,
services.
nothing. It doesn't mean that. They also list Drake as an executive producer and Future as an executive producer. But that is all just titles. Okay. There is one executive producer who has control when it comes to television, and that is the showrunner. The person who created, most of the time, it's the person who created the show for television. Not every time you create a show, you become the showrunner, because if you don't have any experience, a network may not give you showrunner. You may have created the show, but then someone has to create the show for television. So once that person who creates the show for television will be the showrunner. So this gentleman, Levingston, I don't remember his first name. He is the creator. He's the
Isn't it
creator of the
Barry?
show.
Isn't it
Barry
Barry
Levingston? Yeah, Levingston, yeah. He is the creator of the show Euphoria. He is also the executive producer, the writer. He directs a lot of episodes. He is the guy. He's the showrunner. That's the first and foremost. Zendaya, because of her name and she's the star, they probably offered her an executive producer credit to star in the show, to be the show's star.
Correction, it's Sam Levinson. Sam
Levinson. They may have offered, HBO probably offered her an executive producer credit to be the face of this show and the star of this show, the main character. And the main character, which is actually based on Sam Levinson's life, his past. The Rue character is kind of like his life. So he's writing that character through his own eyes. It's just as a female. So, which explains a lot of things. Explains a lot about her sexuality and being, attracted to women and things like that. So, yes, Joseph said, "What is the HBO show Zendaya is in? It's called Euphoria." Joseph, that's the show we're talking about at the moment. So now, Dare, is that what they called? Dare. Yeah. Has Zendaya responds to Dare, slams Euphoria for glorifying drugs. She says show is not a moral tale, which it's not. She's right by saying that. It's not a moral tale. What people need to understand is, let me see what Dare was saying. They're saying, so a representative from Dare, anti-drug campaign Dare, previously told TMZ that the season 2 of Euphoria is misguidingly and erroneously depicted high schoolers using drugs, leading to addiction, anonymous sex, violence, and other destructive behaviors as common as widespread in today's world. Right? And it says it's unfortunate that HBO's social media, television programs, reviewers, and paid advertisers have chosen to refer to this show as groundbreaking rather than recognizing the potential negative consequences on school-age children who face unparalleled risk and mental health challenges. That is their statement, right?
That's some bull. I've been watching this show since. I mean, it's only season 2, but I've been watching the show since it first came on. First of all, the only person, realistically speaking, on the entire show that is abusing drugs is the main character. That's really it. Okay, she's going through right in the first episode. She was fresh in the first season. She was fresh out of rehab, fell in love with this girl, who's played by a
Mm-hmm.
transgender. And then something happens between the two of them, so she slips back and she starts taking drugs again. But it wasn't that she was taking drugs because it was cool. There was a reason why she started taking drugs. And since it's already been aired, so once again, this is not a spoiler. This is because already been aired in season 1. But she started taking drugs because her father was dying, and she was the person that started giving him his medication. And she tried one, got hooked on it.
Yeah.
Then when her father died, she went deeper into drug culture because she was depressed about her father dying. That's why I started taking drugs. It wasn't to be recreational, but if you want to start talking about it's a false representation of teens today. How many teens today are out there smoking weed, playing around with fentanyl, playing around with ecstasy, e-pills, and let's not even talk about regularly prescribed pills they're taking out of their parents' medicine cabinets, Percocets. You know. So I don't understand why you're blasting this show, right? Because if anything, it before and after every single episode, it said if you know anybody that is having a problem, text Euphoria to get in touch with someone that can help you. I mean, it is a show, but at least it's a show that is saying this show is about what could happen to you as a teenager in today's society with teenagers taking drugs. But if you know someone that does this thing, call somebody. This is a line for help. I don't see why you're sandblasting this particular show. Now, I didn't see you coming out at all for anything with Seth Rogen or John Franco, where they're in the movies where they're glorifying the use of weed. Right. Kevin Smith for Jay and Silent Bob, where it's about two guys that are constantly high, which I happen to love Jay and Silent Bob. Why are you taking this shot at Euphoria? Is it because it's a black lead? I don't think so. Right? Is it because it's hugely popular? Yeah, it is. Right? But instead of sitting there saying this is a real description of what goes on in today's society from some teenagers, not all, some teenagers, you don't do that. You want to dog the show. That's not right. And Derek, y'all need to be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah, it's a little. The thing is this. Now, the show itself is done well. It's shot well. It's well acted. The storytelling is it's very people saying groundbreaking. I think it's more so by the way they tell the story. Now it is very heavy-handed. It's a heavy-handed delivery on their product, and I'm saying that.
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot of things in the show that are truly groundbreaking. I mean, you have Zendaya's character that is in love with a girl named Drew, who actually is a transgender.
Rue is her character, but her name is Jules.
Jules. That's in love with a transgender. That is a huge thing. You have
now. Is the character transgender or is the actual actor transgender?
Both. The actual actor playing Jules is transgender. That is a huge step forward. You have another girl that's heavy set that in 2 episodes ago, she had what had to be the greatest scene where she's talking about why she doesn't love her boyfriend and all this stuff, and these different personalities of her are popping out that are what she wants to look like, and they're telling her, say, you are beautiful in the body that you are, and they're saying love yourself. You've never seen anything like that on television, especially from a teen. You want to say a teen-driven show,
right?
You know, it also deals with sexism, classism, racism. It deals with all these different subjects in interracial couples, you know.
Slut shaming, body shaming.
Yes.
All that stuff. All of those topics are all of the topics of Gen Z, millennials, Gen Z type of things that they deal with, and it's all touched on.
There was even an episode with the girl that is heavyset that doesn't love herself. But there was an episode where she was getting into webcamming. You know, when she was doing that online, and then actually the pitfalls when one of her followers pushed her to do something more that she wasn't comfortable to doing it, and then became a stalker to her. Like, is
Yeah.
that not relevant in today's times? So
Mm-hmm.
I dare to ask, dare to question. With the exception of last Sunday's episode, have you watched the show from beginning to now, or did you just hear about this one episode and say, "Oh, we got to speak about this"? No, watch the whole damn thing before you start critiquing it.
I agree. I agree 100%. You got to watch the show in context because yes, like you said, the main character, and then they just brought in season 2 another character that's kind of doing drugs with her. But in the last
Yeah,
episode, that may not happen no more because he's kind of like exposed her in the last episode. But the bottom line is, she was really the one that struggles with the drug addiction, and
hmm
she struggles, and
yeah,
but this last episode on Sunday was so like gripping. Her acting, Zendaya deserves an Emmy for
another
her
one.
acting. Another one for her
She
acting in
deserves
this.
another one.
She definitely does. Her acting is phenomenal in this show.
Mhm.
And
Man, when she
it is gripping. Like she had me into the camera, into the screen, really watching. And that scene with her and her mother, oh my
yeah,
goodness, that was
yeah,
intense. That was intense.
and
And
then the part where
this whole
when she
episode is just really about her. Like they really focused the camera on Zendaya, Rue, the character episode, and she's basically going through withdrawal because
yeah,
she woke up and her mother found this suitcase of drugs that she had that she was actually supposed to sell, that she took from someone else. They're supposed to sell and give them back some money.
yeah.
And of course, she was getting high on her own supply. You knew that was going to happen because she never really
Rule number
wanted to sell
5: don't
drugs. She
get
just
high
wanted
on your own supply.
on supply. Exactly. She never really wanted to be a drug dealer. She just wanted to find a way to get drugs for free
Yeah,
and maybe get some money too. And that's what it is. The mother got rid of it. You know, they tried to have an intervention with her. She was literally running from an intervention. She was on the run in the whole episode, almost killed herself several times,
yeah.
broke into people's house, stole things, got kidnapped. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just wild.
But that scene when she went back to the drug dealer's house, you see how the drug dealer, right, was all calm and cool, but
Yes.
when she says the good thing with you about being a woman with you no money, you still got something that people want.
You got something else that people want, even if you don't have money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
what
what she
she
said.
do?
And
She shot her up to get her even higher. Start
got her
right there.
hired, and then she woke up. She woke up in a house full of dudes, basically, that was watching her. And who knows? You know what they were going to do if they didn't do it already.
Yeah.
Have a way with her and stuff like that, and that's what it is. So, and she warned her about that though. When she first took the drugs from her, she said, "If you mess me over, I will have you kidnapped and sold to some bad people.
Yeah,
that will
like,
that will
damn.
do you dirty." That's what she
Yeah.
said, and that's why she said it so subtly in their conversation when she
Nice
said,
and smooth.
when she said, the good thing about being a woman is that you got something that people want, even if you don't have money.
Yeah.
And Rue was already so out of it, and it was just, she didn't realize what's going on.
No, when
It was an intense.
When she said, let me put you into this bath, she took her clothes off, put her into the bath, and then gave her that
Cleaned her
shot. So
up.
she probably passed out in the bath. But who knows what happened between the bath, because you were naked, to now you in the bed and it's morning time in your dress. You have no idea what happened to you. None. All you know is you got a
I'm
big
sure
ass bruise
something
in your
happened.
arm. Yeah.
I know something. We know something happened. She don't know yet either. She don't realize it. She just wakes up, and and
that's the season
has
ending.
to
She
escape.
winds up the season ended. She gonna wind up either being pregnant, some sort of disease or something.
Right, some sort of
And-
disease or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she
that's
gonna
what I
wonder
think too.
What happened? Yeah.
Is the next episode the season finale or?
I don't think so.
No, I
I
think
don't
it
think
has
it
a
is.
few
I
more
hope
episodes.
not.
But this season because this season just started. It's only like what 5 episodes in, right?
Yeah.
For the second season. And then you got, and now this show has other characters that, I think they established very well. You have the Maddie character. She's nuts. She's crazy. She's that crazy. What is she supposed to be like Puerto Rican or some
Spanish.
sort of Hispanic,
She's
Latina.
Spanish, yeah.
She's the crazy Latina of the show, and she's wild.
She about to whip her best friend's ass.
Yeah.
She about
Next
to dig,
episode, she going in.
She about to dig into it.
So they have a lot now. Like I said, when it comes to the sex of this show, it's very heavy-handed. Like especially in the first season, second season too, but in the first season, I was really, I was kind of shocked on how graphic it was.
And it's mostly men. It's mostly men graphic.
Stuff. Right, men graphic. So you see a lot of full frontal, penis shots and stuff like that, and it was very, very surprising to see that. But also because when you think of Jules, who she's very, very promiscuous and has she's whatever, you have the scene with Jules and the dude's father, the older dude. And that scene is very heavy-handed. It's actually could be triggering. I don't understand why they don't put trigger warnings at the beginning of this show, because that scene could have been triggering to someone who's been sexually assaulted or anything like that.
Now, what I will say, because I have heard this, that people are saying, but this is a show that's set in high school, so why is there so much nudity in it? That's a very good point, because it is set in high school, and you're thinking that these people are high schools, but you have them running around nude. I'm gonna say the same thing. It's no different than me and Wes from the 80s. We saw all these teen comedies, Porky's,
Porky's, Last American Virgin,
Busted, Greatest Last American Virgin, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. They had nudity. Yes, it was not on levels that this is. Well, maybe Porky's was. But if
Porky's was right there.
Yeah, Porky's was Porky's is right there. Last American Virgin, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, it had flashes, but not.
Right.
It didn't really push the envelope that this is pushing. But as I was telling someone earlier, we're in a different time period now. Now you got to push the envelope. I think you just have to.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if you're going to do a show set in the 2010s or 2020s, but you're still thinking it's 1990, 1980, then you're vastly mistaken.
That's true. I mean, so as far as her being under fire, it's not right. Number one, she does not have control of this show. What people need to understand is stop thinking that you know everything about the business and you don't know. First of all, the executive producer, unless they are the creator of the show on television, they do not have creative input most of the time. They may, you may consider it. The showrunner may consider it, but Zendaya does not have creative control on this show. I guarantee you that. She
probably has influence. Now,
I'm sure she has influence. Yeah.
I was reading an article about the girl that plays Sydney. No, Sydney. What is her name? Sydney. Sydney Sweeney, that plays Cassie, the blonde that's cheating. Now, she was saying that she felt that some of the scenes that were originally written, where she was supposed to be more nude than what she was, she said, "I don't think my character would do this." So they changed it around I don't want to use the word appease her, but to say, okay, maybe this scene you don't have to be topical, you don't have to be new. Maybe you could like the scene where I would probably sit there and say when she first starts having sex with him, right? She is topless, but she's not fully nude. So maybe that was something she was talking about, where my character probably wouldn't be this much or do like this. It would be somewhat clothed or so. I'm quite sure that all the characters has some not a whole, maybe not a huge say so, but at least some sort of influence. Say, well, I don't think my character would do this, because let's forget they're not all that far away from the time from the pages that they actually are playing. It's not like you're 30 and you're playing a 15-year-old. You know, you're still conscious of age, so you would have more of an influence because it helped. Not saying nothing. Maybe that was you or someone you knew in high school that was doing that or acting that way. So you got a better frame of reference than some 30, 40-year-old screenwriter that's saying, I don't know. And you're saying, I lived this life. I was around people like this. I know. I know what to do.
Yeah, I'm sure they take consideration and they have influence, but for Dare to attack Zendaya is just completely unwarranted. For anyone that attacks Zendaya, when it comes to movies and films, the executive producer has most of the time, unless they are the producer as well. Most of the time, executive producer has no creative input on it. They're there to cut the check. That's what they're there for. Cut the check, get the glory at the end, walk the red carpets, and say, I executive produced this film. I put money into it. That's pretty much what they do. That, but there's some that might come on board as an executive producer and do some creative input, and they may negotiate an executive producer credit with you. When 50 Cent he does get creative input because with the Power universe, because but he gets a credit as executive producer because he is the money, right? So he didn't have to put money out his pocket. He is the money. He's the star. He's the famous person. He's the one who has the connections to the world, to the audience. He already had an audience and stuff like that. So he is the money. He represents the money. That's why he's an executive producer with Courtney A. Kemp. But Courtney, let's make no mistake, Courtney A. Kemp was the showrunner. So she made the creative decisions. She created she's the creator and the showrunner. She's now left the Power universe as showrunner, and she's got some things going on with Netflix that she's going to. But she is the creator of the Power universe. So, so once again, I can see people going at 50 a little bit because 50 does have a lot of influence and creative input on Power because he has a little more stake in the show as opposed to Zendaya, who, like you said, probably has creative influence, but she does not make creative decisions. Yes.
Right.
She does not make creative decisions. That's the difference. That is the difference. So, pipe down, Dare. Y'all need to relax right now. Need to pipe down. Relax. Yeah. So, now moving on to the cast of the new Color Purple, right? So, let's first establish, everyone, this is not per se it is a remake, but it's not a remake. The reason why I say that is because it's not a full-blown remake of The Color Purple, the movie. It is a movie which is a musical version of The Color Purple based on the novel and the movie. Which was also a Broadway play, I believe. So they do have a Broadway stage play version of it as well. So it's another adaptation, I would say, of The Color Purple. Not per se a remake of the film, but an adaptation because this one is going to have, like singing and stuff in it because it's a musical. So with that being said, we have Oprah Winfrey has announced the official starring cast. Fantasia is going to play Celie, right? She is she's Celie character, and as you can see, as I'm announcing this cast, they're all singers, most of them at least, or they can sing. If they're actors, they can sing, right? So Fantasia being Celie. We have Coleman Domingo as Mister. Okay. Now Coleman Domingo, he's actually in Euphoria. He plays a character in Euphoria. Currently, he plays Rue's sponsor in Euphoria.
Oh man, listen, back to Euphoria for a second. I know you're watching season 1 and season 2, but if you didn't watch the two branching episodes, man, that dude right there.
The two what?
And that, right when Euphoria was getting ready to come on, there was 2 standalone episodes. This one, he's talking to Jules in a diner, like on Christmas Eve. New Year's Eve. He's talking to her in a diner. He's telling her about his life. Man,
yeah,
45
I remember that.
Just this guy basically talking, and I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy is talented. He is awesome.
He's very talented. He's also on, I think, Fear the Walking Dead. I think he's also in Fear the Walking Dead. Yeah. I remember seeing him in there. So he's gonna play Mister. I think he'll do a great job. Okay, so Harley Bailey, not to be confused with Halle Berry, Harley Bailey as Nettie. Now we know Halle Bailey is one of the sister duet, Holly and Chloe. She's also been cast as the live action version of Ariel in The Little Mermaid. That was she's gonna play Ariel in The Little Mermaid, and which obviously sparked a lot of controversy with her for obvious reasons, right? With her being black. So she's doing her thing right now. Her career is really taking off, and she's been shooting the live action version of The Little Mermaid. And now she's actually in this now. So we have her. We also have Taraji P. Henson as Suge Avery. Now I thought this was a cool casting. I actually think all the casting's not bad. So she's Suge Avery. We know that Taraji does know how to sing. She was sang in another movie. I was in Hustle and Flow, which won an Oscar, right? So she sang on it was her. She So she sang on the song that actually won the Oscar too. She was singing with that too. So anyway, we know that so like I said, all of these actors, they're either actors that can sing or they're singers. She's a singer and an actress. He's an actor. I guess he could sing. I've never heard him sing. And obviously she is a singer who's gotten into acting. I guess who's going to be acting a lot. Next we have Corey Hawkins. Now we know that he could sing because we saw him in the Lin-Manuel Miranda movie, The Heights or whatever it was. So he was in there singing. So he can sing as well. Corey Hawkins, he was in the new version of 24. He played Dr. Dre in the NWA movie. He's a pretty good actor as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he is Harpo. So and here's an interesting one. the artist Her, as Squeak. Now, Squeak was, if people remember from the original movie, that was Ray Don Chong's character, who married Harpo later after Sophia had went away and went to jail and whatever it was with her. Later on, she ended up, being with Harpo. She got her ass beat too by Sophia. And Harpo, who this woman? I remember that. And Sophia whooped her behind, and then so her, I have no idea. I know she is a very talented musical artist. I have no
Yes,
idea
she
what her,
is.
but I mean yeah, she's very talented. I love her. It's funny because I'm saying her, but I love her. You know what I mean? She's really she's a true artist, a true
Yes, she
musician.
is.
She's a musician. She's brought back artistry to the game. So she'll play Squeak. Not a hard, shouldn't be a hard role to play because she didn't have a lot to say in the movie.
You know they're not going to waste her. They're going to give her some stuff.
They're going to give us some stuff to do and talk and sing and here we have Danielle Brooks from Orange is the New Black. Mostly known for that. She is playing Sophia. Now, I don't really have a problem with this cast as far as the cast goes, right? I don't have a problem with it, to be honest with you. Now, I've in the movie group that I'm in, they always talk about, do we need another Color Purple movie? That was the question, right? I mean, do we need any remakes? No, we don't need any remakes. Probably they're out there. If you appreciate film, you can just go watch the original film, right? So it's like, what? I don't like that question. Do we need another version of this movie? I mean, maybe people feel that maybe Oprah Winfrey feels that we need a version that they're singing, where everyone's singing and stuff, a singing version of it. Maybe that's what they feel. I don't know. So I can't really answer that question.
I can. No, we don't need another version, a different version of the film, The Color Purple. I'm all fine with turning The Color Purple into a play. I am perfect with that. That is awesome. But no, you don't. It's like taking Les Miserables, right? And you have a movie version, and then you turn around and make it into a gritty war movie. No, you don't do that, because then it's not Les Miserables, it's something else.
But I mean, you wouldn't make it into a gritty war movie. I mean, if you took I know what you mean, though. I'm saying take the storyline and take out the singing and tell the story
Then
in a
you got
narrative.
right. Then you have something else. You don't have Les Mis. So no, the idea of taking The Color Purple and now injecting it with song. If you want to make that into a Broadway play like The Lion King or Aladdin, no, I'm sorry, I can't use those because those are already musicals, right? But
they're already musicals, yeah.
Hell, you took Spider-Man. No, you took Harry Potter, Spider-Man, and turned them into Broadway shows, right? You added music to them. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. But would I pay my $20? Would I come to the counter and say, hey, listen, here's my 20. I want a ticket to Color Purple, the musical, the big screen. Not really, because the original one is in my brain. Mm-hmm. I went to see The Color Purple because of the performances, not because you backed it with a bunch of people that can sing. Because if that's the case, you could make another movie in the same time period as Color Purple and then not be called The Color Purple. Sorry, Oprah. No.
Yeah. Right.
There you go.
Yeah,
India.
I can see. It's like Grease the musical. Yeah, I agree. Right.
Mm-hmm. Taking Grease and turn it into a teen sex romp. No, then it's not Grease. Then you got Happy Days.
Like I said, the story doesn't change though. If you take the music out of Grease and just played it as a narrative, if you took the music out of Grease and just played it as a narrative story doesn't change. It's the same story. It wouldn't
Well,
change the theme of the story. It's the same exact story. It's
you,
not going to change it drastically where you won't have a team romp thing. It's going to be the same story. It's Grease. A musical, a musical still has a narrative story, right?
Agreed.
So that
But
story is going to stay the same. It's about
ag-
a summer love that they found, and then they came back together. You know, they thought they were going to see each other again. They came back together in school. All of that could have played out without music, and it still would have got the story across.
I totally agree.
So
Totally agree. However, if you do that, it's no longer Grease. We know that the people that will go see Grease know that it's a musical play. No, it's not, because we're expecting.
Of course, we know that it's a musical play, but this is the reverse, because we know The Color Purple as a. Well, first of all, The Color Purple, there is a play version of it. There is a stage play. There is a stage play version.
I said I'm great with that. I'm great with that. I'm just saying, but do you need to take that stage version and put that onto the big screen, make a big screen adaptation of a play that was already a movie? No, you don't.
Why? Why not? It's still a different adaptation, and what's going to bring. I'm saying what's different. The story's the same. So the people whether people saw it or not, they're not gonna. So put it like this: the people that saw the movie are not gonna, miss out on the story because it's the same story. The people who have never seen the movie will get another rendition of it, because they'll get a little extra because of the singing that's in there, right? So the singing may actually give it a little more power to certain emphasis on certain scenes. So the story's not going anywhere. It's the same story. So
then I'll put it to you like this. Okay. Remember the producers, the original producers, Mel Brooks's 1960 version, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's not a musical. It's just a comedy. So he takes that comedy and he translates it to the stage, and now it becomes a Broadway play where they're singing and dancing, and it's a smash. But when he took that Broadway play and turned that Broadway play into a musical movie, it's a bomb, right? Because we're looking at this entity, and now you're trying to take this entity and put it back to where it originally was when it was already done. It doesn't translate the same. Does it translate?
Depends. It depends. I get what you're saying. In that case, it doesn't.
See what I'm saying?
In that case, it doesn't. But all I'm saying is, I believe that it depends on how they plan on doing it. So they're gonna do it, I guess, as like a movie with the singing, just like how Grease was, right? So like Grease was a stage play, and Grease was a movie. It was both.
But Grease's stage play was still a musical. It was
still a musical, but it wasn't. But it wasn't. What I'm saying is the way it looked, the way it was shot, was different. Because Grease, the movie played out like a movie. Understand? Like it wasn't sets and stuff that was moving on and off the stage, because it was a stage play. It was shot and filmed like a movie.
Right, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the medium. If you're taking a Broadway movie, if you're making this movie, right, you took a movie that was a deep drama, and you turned it into a Broadway play, and you added music. Cool, but now you want to take that Broadway play and then take The Color Purple and put it back on the big screen as a Broadway musical instead of the medium it was already in. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, what you change it for Broadway, you got to change it for Broadway. That's sensible. But will we want to see that back on the big screen? And in the conscious of people, too many people already associate The Color Purple with Oprah Winfrey with Whoopi Goldberg as this deep, thought-provoking drama.
But Oprah Winfrey is producing this, so
That
she's
don't mean nothing.
representing it. It's just like, no, it does. It means a lot because
She
she's
did
the
the
one
same thing with
producing.
Charlotte's Web, and it was a bomb. Same thing with
Yeah, but
Charlotte's Web, and it was a bomb.
but it's not the same thing because Charlotte's Web, she wasn't in. I'm talking about this is you just said everybody. You said everybody associates that with Oprah Winfrey and stuff like that. So the fact that Oprah Winfrey is producing this, right? It does mean something. And on top of that, you're gonna take the same narrative story, shoot it as a film with as a musical with singing and stuff in it. I'm not sure that being that it's presented a little differently, but I'm not sure that people are going to not like it or if it's going to be say a bomb or whatever. I don't think they're not really trying to retell the story. They're just doing an adaptation of it. It wouldn't be much different if they did like how Hamilton was. You filmed Hamilton and you put it on TV, but they're going to shoot it more like they're not going to do that. They're not going to film the stage play and play it on TV. They're going to shoot a movie version of it, that still plays out the drama, still plays out all that stuff. It's just that it's going to be added now because the singing part of it is going to be in there. So they're still playing out the drama.
But you was exactly right. If they would have took the Broadway play and filmed the Broadway play and put that on the big screen, I might be like, okay, because that's been done before. But what you're trying to do, I'm sitting there saying,
yeah, but you gotta try something, Ralph. You can't just do the same thing over and over again. You gotta try to be groundbreaking, right?
Why
try to be innovative?
Wait a minute. Why
not?
Try it at all? Why try it at all?
Because if it was a full blown remake, people would be complaining about that too. So it's not a full blown remake. But it's not a full blown remake. Because this story needs, let's be honest, Ralph, this generation does not translate to older films. You know that. Kids today, they refuse to watch older movies. They refuse to watch it. So the only way to translate to the new generation is to present it to them new. That I'm telling you, that's trust me. Every young kid in my life refuses to watch older films because they're turned off by it for whatever reason. It could be the technology, it could be the way it looks, whatever they're turned off. So if you want to share that story with this generation, you have to think of an innovative way to do it using people of this generation.
Do we get Roots the musical? Do we get Star Wars the musical? You know,
might.
If
this works out, maybe we will.
Hell, do we get Superman the musical?
If this works out, maybe we will. But Superman has been retranslated for a younger audience. Why? Zack Snyder did it. He retranslated Superman for a modern audience.
Hold on a second. If you was to sit there and say we're going to remake the movie The Color Purple, right, with modern actors to reimagine the thing, okay, maybe I'm on board with that because we all say that there's all movies can always be quote unquote remade. But when you're changing it completely, you're changing the dynamic.
You're not changing it completely now. You're changing the delivery of it, yes, but you're not changing the story. It's the same story.
But I'm looking at myself like last time I was watching 12 Years a Slave, right? So by your example, if they turned 12 Years a Slave into a musical version of it, would I really want to sit there and as Petty is getting whipped, do I want to hear saying, I'm tired of getting whipped? Psh, I'm tired. No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that because maybe that's just me because maybe it wouldn't have the emotional draw to it that I've already seen, you know. So like for Color Purple, with the exception of the song "God Trying to Tell Me Something," which is like the best part of the whole movie, but some scenes in there, I don't having a song put in there. To me, it doesn't make the moment anymore. It doesn't increase the moment.
It depends on the song, though, Ralph. I mean, if it depends on the song. If there's a scene when Nettie is taken away, when Mister first throws Nettie out and she's taken away from Celie, and they're broken apart. You know, they got their little song that they sing. But so you know that's going to be in there. But if there's like some sort of really ballad, you know, song that's a sweet song that tells the story of their relationship together as sisters in that moment, you can't tell me that won't make the moment more intense.
We're gonna have to disagree until
it's all about how it's right. It's all about how they present it. Because it's all about how they present it. If you know that part was so sad, it's basically replacing the score, because it was a nice sad score under that part when she was pulled away and made to go away. So it's basically replacing the score with an undertone of a song. So Nettie would probably walk away and start singing this song. Maybe they both start singing this song as they're pulled apart. And it's a powerful song that's going to reach, you know, invoke the emotion that they're feeling at that moment, then it's going to work. That's going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're going to all break out in song and start dancing and stuff like that.
Hey,
that's not going to happen.
You can't sit. Wait a minute. Theoretically, you can't sit there and say that.
That's not going to happen. Not because of the tone of the movie. It's not a comedy. It's not a, you know what I'm saying? Like it's because of the tone of the movie. They're not gonna just start breaking. There might be a part maybe with the gods trying to tell you something, or there might be, or when Suge Avery is singing and stuff like that in the juke joint.
That part, yes, right. I'm cool with that.
Right.
I'm cool. I'm cool with
joint,
that. Yeah,
right.
that would be
but
awesome.
But I'm talking about scenes like you know,
when she trying to kill Mister, and she say, "I'm about to kill him. I've had enough of this shit. He about to die. He come get this shade. So he come."
It's all about right. If you think about it that way, it seems ridiculous. But if it's all about song placement, it's all about where it's placed and what they're saying, what they're doing. Yes, I could see, you know, if let's just say when they're all sitting at the dinner table, you know, there's going to be some sort of song breakout there when, you know, when she finally stands up to him, you know, about doing right by her. Till you do right by me, nothing's ever going to happen for you. Know, everything you think about is going to fail. You know, there's going to be something at that point. And if the song is right and it's powerful enough, people will dig it. They'll dig it because it seems like, especially if they'll dig it, man. I'm telling you, they just, you know, I believe, you know, I don't really care either way, to be honest with you, as far as which way they go with it. But I believe the way they're gonna try to go with it is to appeal to a modern audience of listeners and watchers and viewers. You got people, you know, Harley Bailey is, you know, of this generation, and she has a lot of support. You got her in there. Her is of this generation, right? You got her in there. Smart move. Everybody knows Taraji is also of this generation. When you think about, you know, Empire and stuff like that, Taraji, she's not of this generation, but her image is, right?
Now that one, Taraji, I would rather, if that's the case, I would rather have Janelle Monáe playing that part than Taraji. I get why you got Taraji in there because she's a star, but if you're going to put on if she also has
Janelle Monáe to me is not old enough to play Suge Avery. She doesn't fit that role. Suge Avery was an older, you know, she wasn't old, but what I mean is, I don't think Janelle Monáe, in my opinion, is old enough to play. She's definitely talented enough. She could sing, and you know, she's a singer too.
She's 36.
She's not old enough to me. Maybe she doesn't look old enough.
She doesn't look old enough. But let's be real. Makeup can solve all. Because makeup can solve all that problem.
I think Taraji fits the role a little better. than what Janelle Monáe. You can't just I don't believe in just throwing people in just because. You have to fit that role. And Taraji fits that role, that sassiness of Suge Avery. Taraji's gonna be able to bring that. Taraji's gonna be able to bring that. I don't see as good as an actor as Janelle Monáe has become. That's not that role doesn't fit her for me. Not that one. She can not that she's not capable of doing it, but I just don't think she's not the perfect fit for the role. I think between if I was casting it and I had them two in front of me, I'd probably go with who they went with because I think she fits the role better. Now you want to tell me I would love to see her in this movie. She could have played Nettie. She didn't have to play, you know what I'm saying? Because she's more the complexion of the actor that played Nettie. You know, Holly Bailey. I won't be surprised if people start complaining because she's lighter skinned. You know that's coming soon. They're gonna
I think the thing with that is because she's just so young. And I think it'll be more because she's just so young.
I think so too.
You know, I mean, I think she's just barely 20 years old.
Right, but there will be some complaints because that's what black people like to do. Unfortunately, they like to complain.
I know I'm complaining.
Let's be honest. Damn it. Yeah, damn it. Black people like to complain. That's what it is. Shout out to India, man. She been chiming in and stuff like that. I appreciate you.
And yes, Joseph. Could you make a musical out of Spaceballs? I really think the only person, if they decide to do a musical of Spaceballs, is really Mel Brooks. It can't be anybody else. But I'm quite sure he got.
You know what's funny? I would love to see. I laugh at that. I want to see. You know, on the Hawkeye show, they made a musical out of out of the Avengers. It was called Rogers the Musical. I could do this all day. I'm like, yo, this is hilarious. Yo, I was like, yo, I think I would watch that. I really would.
That might be interesting.
I'd go see that.
That might be interesting. Where he, you know, and then like you play the ominous music, and that's the Hulk changing from Bruce to the Hulk, and you know
that was hilarious.
It could be. There are elements that could be funny when you do it, but now you're doing it like in Hawkeye. You're doing it for the laugh. You know, you're not doing it to be serious. You're doing it for a laugh.
Yeah, doing it for the laugh, but it's funny.
I don't think The Color Purple will be doing this for a laugh.
No. The Color Purple is definitely going to be.
But you don't want to make a mockery out of it.
No, they're gonna make a series. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think they're going to jam it pack with a bunch of music, a bunch of breaking out singing. I think they're going to reenact it, and then at the right intense parts, they're gonna add music that underscores the scene that we're watching. Like I said, when Nettie and them gets separated, you know, when she says "Do you do right by me" and all that stuff, that's where you're gonna start hearing, and then it's gonna have a musical element to it. I mean, Heaven Hollywood's gonna join us because I'm gonna talk a little bit about the Power Universe. What's up, Heaven Hollywood, man?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, brother?
What's good? What's good?
Yeah, man. Yeah, so we were just talking about the cast of The Color Purple, the new, you know, the musical version of it, and it's that's what, you know, like I said, it may translate, it may not, but they did put a couple of people from this generation to help translate. You know, you got her, you got Holly Bailey in there, so these are people that this generation are behind. They support, and we'll see how it goes. But you know, I think it's okay. I mean, I don't care either way what they do with it. But what I was trying to explain to people is everyone's talking about, you know, oh, do we really need another club? I mean, we don't need anything done over. But if you want to convey a message to this generation, you have to find a way to retranslate it because this generation refuses to watch old movies. I'm telling you. I will, and you can ask, Kevin's the same way. Any child, younger, you know, that I know in my life, they don't want to watch old movies. They're not going to go and watch The Color Purple. They're just not going to do it. So
I'll tell you, my daughter won't even watch old cartoons. I'm trying to
right,
I try to get her into like the cartoons that I watched when
they
I
don't
was
want it.
growing up. She doesn't
They,
like it.
yeah,
It
the
looks so
animation, yeah,
different. It just
looks old to
fit,
them, and they don't want
and,
to.
and and even though she can't really tell when they were made, it just looks different to them. It just looks
Yeah.
they won't watch
And
it.
I look at the cartoons of today and I'm like, these are garbage. I'm like, these
This is
cartoons of
crap.
today are garbage, but that not
Right.
to
See, no,
them.
no, what's
They
wrong?
look at
Kids
it
of
and
today
they love it.
don't know, but because they don't know that, like waking up on Saturday morning and CBS and NBC just
Yeah,
show
they don't
cartoons
understand,
all
man.
day long. Then you
They
slide into
don't know
Channel
that.
5 and watch a couple
It's so
martial art
fun.
movies. You know,
Yep.
you don't,
They
y'all
don't
don't
know.
know about
They
that
Your
stuff.
never knew.
Saturday, usually your Saturday, you didn't leave the house until after 3, after the
Yeah,
karate
Mm.
movie was over.
about 4 o'clock.
Yep.
Then you was
On
outside.
Saturdays, 4:30, 5 o'clock is when you finally go outside.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, it's
yeah.
just not.
Not
It is really, yeah. It's really. They don't know. They really don't know what they're missing. I mean, hell, my granddaughter just learned how to ride a bike. She just turned 11. She learned how to ride a bike just a couple of years ago. She didn't even. They didn't. These kids are all in their devices. They don't go outside
Yeah,
and
my
play.
daughter
They don't
don't know how to
ride
ride a bike
bikes.
yet. I gotta
they
teach
Yeah.
her.
don't.
You
They
gotta
don't know
teach her how to ride a
anything. They
bike.
don't know anything
Like
except
I said, my
Siri. How do
granddaughter
I do this?
who just turned 11. She just learned how to ride a bike, maybe a little over a year ago. I couldn't believe it when they told me that she didn't know how to ride a bike. I said, "What? How do you get around?" And she's like, "I don't."
Uber.
So
Uber.
yeah, right. Uber.
I got an
You don't
Uber
get
account.
around. So, so the power universe is in full effect right now. It's full swing right now. As we know, the original Power show is now over. They've broken out into different books, versions. So book 2, 3, and now 4 are all out at the same time now. So they've put themselves in a position to always kind of show power, shows. They're in a position now where they can have a power show going um all year round, I think. What do you I would say
That's
so.
what they were trying to
So
do.
that's they try so now they finally reached that point
Finally,
where
was
they
able
can
to do it.
actually they reached that point where they can actually do it. So I was trying to share a screen here with the
Any chance of like a power burnout? Like if you have all these series on at the same time, you're like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of power, and we need something new.
Eh,
That's a good question. But
good question.
the reason why I probably the reason why I probably won't get like that is because the shows are so different. You know,
Yeah,
Raising Canaan doesn't really feel like you're watching Power anyway.
yeah,
Because it's like a prequel.
yeah,
So Canaan is dead, but Raising Canaan is like his backstory, like
yeah,
growing up, whatever. And then you have uh this new one here. I mean the Ghost, book 2, where
Ghost, yeah,
Ghost, who died in Power, his son is now growing up, right?
yeah,
And he now become the drug dealer because he killed. I know, Ralph, you don't really watch Power, but
right,
he killed Ghost, and now he is dealing the drugs. And then we have Force, which he just started, and that's
yeah,
Tommy's spinoff. So Tommy's like in a totally different city. You know what I mean? So
right,
it's like the reason why people probably won't get burnt out is because they did kind of like split like the characters up, and Raising Canaan doesn't really even feel like Power. So it's really like just
right.
two powers going on.
Well, the reason I
Yeah,
say that because
it's
I was reading an article the other day about they were talking about Star Trek, and how they felt that Star
Mhm.
Trek had actually burnt itself out because you went right from Generations into Deep Space Nine and into Voyager and Enterprise, and it just kind of burnt. Like people were like, I'm
Now
Star Trek.
it
out.
might. You remember they just start so. I mean, we may have to revisit what you said in like another season or so, because they may. They may get to a point where they're like, you know what, we got 6 seasons of Power. Power Book 2 just gave us their second season.
Yeah.
And we'll be coming up on the first season of Force, and then we'll be getting the second season of Raising Kanan, and then they're in the middle of filming season 3 of Ghost.
Of Ghost, yeah.
People may get to a point where, you know what, if they after this third season they say, okay, I'm all powered out, let's just we don't want to see any more of it. That is definitely a possibility.
It's a possibility.
That to me is up to the writers to keep people, to keep people wanting to see more of it. But if they keep going in the same direction and doing the things they're doing, we could get to that point sooner than we know.
Yeah. Sooner than we know. I think that right now, so like you explained, the Power universe, they got book 2, 3, and 4 out at the moment. Power Book 2, Ghost season the season finale just played over the weekend. And then right behind that was the season premiere of book 4, Force, which is about Tommy stuff. So Tommy is, which they used, everything's connected, Ralph. Like they used book 2 to book 2 is basically like what happens right after Power ends. It's the continuation, like almost immediate continuation. Right. And then, so Tommy is now, he made a couple of cameos in that version. And now he's kind of left New York behind him. He's on his way to California. He's kind of on the run, yeah. And he left, and he's on his way to California, and he makes a pit stop in Chicago because he does have some roots there in Chicago. So he has roots in Chicago. I think Kev is on the line. Let me bring Kev in.
So this way, the way they had it was, Ralph. So the finale was Saturday. So as soon as that ended, it was uploaded season 1, episode 1 of Force. So now, by the time you finish Force, Raising Kanan will be ready. Raising Kanan season 2 will be ready. So then it's like when Force goes off, when their season finale comes on, because it's usually like 10 episodes. When Force is Raising Kanan will probably be ready that night. That's the way 50 Cent always visioned it.
That's
he said he wanted it year round.
Yeah. Which they're on that route. They're on track for that. And I think because of that, I think it's going to be around for a little while, because just let's not forget, we had 6 seasons of Power, right? The original. Now these 3 shows are only on the second seasons. They just finished season 2 of Ghost, and now they're starting season 2 of they're going to start season 2 of Raising Kanan when it comes back, and we're just in the first season of Force. So they're going to have at least 3 seasons apiece, at least 3 seasons apiece. So it's going to kind of work its way around. Now, right now, 50 Cent can't do no wrong over at the Stars Network. So they're green, that's why he's got the green light gang. He says, they're green lighting everything he put out.
Yeah.
Everything he bring up there, he's getting greenlit, because BMF feels like it's part of the Power universe, but it's not. It's it feels like it because he's always promoting it, but but it's not. But
But it's still gonna be.
Ralph, you watch
be around
BMF?
for a while.
But it's still gonna be. It's still gonna be 50-cent Sundays for a long time.
I mean, it's gonna be it's gonna be 50-cent Sunday for a long time because, when these shows happen to be in between, then BMF is gonna come on. But now let's not forget, once they get Influence up and running, which is, I believe, the final book of this Power Universe.
Right, and I don't even know if they started filming that yet.
No, they haven't started filming it yet. They're just in the preliminaries parts of it. But they did set it. They did set it up. They set his character up in the finale of Ghost. They set his character up. You know what he's going to be doing during that. Now we don't know how long that one's going to last either, but that may be a 1 or 2 season thing, but we don't know. But the bottom line is, it's a universe that's connected, and they'll be able to eventually show everything, year round, show something year round from that Power universe.
I think with the Power universe, I think 50 is gonna come around when everything's all said and done, when it all wraps up. I got a feeling he's gonna wrap with a movie.
Yeah.
Whether it be theaters or whether it be on TV, he's gonna wrap
probably
it up.
will.
Yeah, I mean, I can see him wrapping everything that someone says 50 needs to do right by the fans and bring James St. Patrick back.
Nope.
So let me just re-explain again. Just like I said when we were talking about the Euphoria show, Zendaya is an executive producer of the show, but she does not make all the creative decisions. She did not create the show. 50 Cent did not create Power. None of them. He didn't create any of them. He is executive producer of them. And he does have a lot of influence, and he does have some creative decisions, but he is not the creator of these shows. He's not the showrunner of these shows. He cannot make that decision alone to bring back James St. Patrick. But just, you have to understand the position of an executive producer. They're not always, most of the time, they're not never creative input. But if they're the showrunner, and if there's someone like 50 who is very influential, he will have a lot of creative input, but he doesn't make all the decisions by himself.
I think he's heavily in on decisions. I like the way things.
He's in on it. In on it, but he does not make the decisions by himself. He can't. He's not the showrunner.
I'll tell you what.
The showrunner. The showrunner has the final call of everything.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't know what type of influence Zendaya got over there with executive producer, but how come everybody got to show their titties but her? She's the only one that ain't showing her titties.
Yeah, right. That's funny.
That's true.
Here's the deal.
She makes sure everybody else show their titties, but she ain't showing her shit.
Yeah, I her show.
She ain't showed him yet.
Once again with her being an executive producer, she don't have the influence that 50 has on the Power universe for that show. She is not, she was probably given executive producer credit to star in the show. That's probably why they gave it to her. Because, and we talked about this earlier, Ralph said it too, and I agreed with him. I'm sure she has influence on certain things that may happen in the show. But, the top of the show, we talked about the Dare coming after Zendaya because of Euphoria promotes in drug use, and it glorifies drug use and things of this nature. And it is a
He's like, God bless her. It was like so subtle, like God bless her.
It is a it's a heavy-handed show, the way they deliver everything in there. Yes, it is very graphic, very. Wait a minute. It's heavy-handed now for the delivery and the visuals for it to depicting the high schoolers. It is heavy-handed, but that wasn't even what they were complaining about. The sex part, they mentioned it. But they were saying that it was glorifying. It's not glorifying drug use. It is raw. It's showing the raw raw
exactly.
depictions of it.
That's why I say it's not, and that's why I say it's not heavy-handed. They
No, it's
telling
definitely
it.
heavy-handed. It needs trigger
It
warnings
is.
on this
It
show
is.
before they start showing things, because there's rape in this show. There's full frontal nudity, penises, and all this stuff. They need trigger warnings on this show before they, and if you expect, because of the fact that it's for mature audiences, and they put that in the beginning. It is for mature audiences, but it's hard to say it's for mature audiences because now if your teenager is watching this show, you're not really going to want them to watch it. It's just like when the movie Kids came out, right? This is like a modern day version of that movie Kids, right? It was always the talk about, should the kids watch it? Should your kid watch it? Should you watch it with your kid? Is this what, when that movie came out, Larry Clark directed, right? So this show is very, like I said, in the first couple of episodes of the first season, you see a teenage girl get, basically raped by a grown man, right?
Well,
yes, basically raped.
No,
Don't
she
say.
didn't.
Yes, she did, because she's underage. There's statutory rape. She's underage. So
Yeah,
her character's underage. It's rape.
I got no defense for that.
Okay.
I got no defense for that. Then yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
Because she's like 17 or 16.
Yeah, 16. She wasn't even 17. She's like 16 character. So that grown man, and he knew what he was doing. He knew he was raping her. Why? Because he used, what did he use for lubrication? Her spit. Her spit. Not spit. Her spit.
Yeah.
To make sure he didn't leave any DNA. He used her spit. He had the first shot of that is her naked on the bed, and this actress looks like a 16, 15-year-old girl. She's very thin and whatever. So she's naked on the bed, and it's a full frontal shot of his penis putting on the condom. From the waist down, you see this shot. And she's in the back waiting. And then he comes and he turns her over, starts raping her, whatever. So my point is, it's definitely heavy-handed, and it needs that could have triggered somebody.
It ain't heavy.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. That's for sure. But I'm not condemning it for it. I give it's beautifully shot. It's well acted. Zendaya is going to get another Emmy for this, especially for the last episode.
Yeah.
It's very well acted. Shot very well aesthetically, and the storytelling is good. But back to the Power Universe.
Let's not go up to that.
Back to the Power Universe. 50 doesn't have, he doesn't make all the decisions. But I agree, hey, people will be like, he said, but if Kemp leaves and Netflix does that, leave 50 make a decision? No, it doesn't. Good question. It doesn't leave 50 making all the decisions, because once again, he is not the showrunner. There's been someone else who took over as showrunner for Ghost, for book 2, and the other books already had showrunners, right? So in the business, you have your creator of the show normally becomes the showrunner. So this is what people feel, because 50's the face, that he created these shows. He did not. He did not create these shows at all. All right. He came on board after the concept of the show was already sketched out and done. He came on to be the face, to be the money. That's why he's executive producer, because is the money. He brings the viewers, people. He already had the audience. You know what I mean? So that's how that works. But yeah, that's a great question, though. That was a great question. Some people would think that. So with the future, so my question is this: I had put a poll up.
Okay, I don't know what happened to Wes, but since I'm still here, Wes put up a poll saying which one was the best Power. Is it Power? Is it Power Book 2? Is it Power Book 3? So I guess you all can take a vote and vote which one.
I mean,
you can't really vote yet, because it's not. You haven't really, and Force is just one episode in, So you can't really.
Well, yeah. So, and unless he was talking about, unless he was dealing saying the episode, whether the finale was
Right.
better than the Force Opens episode. Um, again, the I think Courtney Kent with the as far as book 2 went, I think this season was a lot better than her first season with Ghost, because I think she realized as much as she wants, and I don't know what it is with her and Michael Rainey Jr. She has this obsession or something over this dude, but she wanted to make him, she wants her bad to make people believe this dude is Ghost, right? And I think she realized after the first episode, even though he's getting better, he is not strong enough to carry that show. So, with this second season, if you noticed, you saw at times, you saw Professor Milgram more than you saw, what's his name? Tariq. You know what I mean? Tariq. So she incorporated. She did a good job and incorporated more storylines and bringing more people to the forefront, like Tate. To kind of take all of the pressure off of Tariq, because the first season it was really about Tariq, and a lot of people just saying, like I said, he is getting better, but he just didn't have the personality to carry that show. Like he's not like Omari, or he didn't have that strength personality. But this season, as he's getting better, she brought along Mary J. Blige, she brought along Lorenz Tate, Melanie LeVar. Like she brought other actresses along that was able to expand the storylines. And then of course bringing in Mecca or what have you. Yeah. So, she had everything set up to really have a great finale, but
she set him up for success. She set him up
right. And after episode 8, I was really fired up. But then she, to me, nosedived episode 9 and 10. I mean, after 8, I was like, okay, here we go. She had such a great episode 8. That was like one of the best episode 8s of all the Powers that I've seen. And then, to me personally, she nosedived episode 9 and 10.
Started off really good in episode 9 with the dream sequence.
That was great. I was like, all right,
very good. Boy, a lot of that was
now,
real.
Kev, I know you probably.
Service.
I don't know what Kev, what you think about it, but I just was really disappointed in the Mecca character. I just thought that they could have took that. He was set up. He could have been a great character.
I think he could have been a good character.
He is a good character. And I think when the season comes back,
he's done.
It's going to come back with
Mecca is dead. That character's dead. Spoiler alert. Mecca's character's dead, so he's gone. So what I think what Heaven Holly was talking about is he could have been the baddie or whatever you want, the antagonist going forward.
They could have got more out of him.
Yeah, they could have got more out of him. Because he was an interesting.
They should have got more out of him.
And they took a very heavy turn with him. All of a sudden he's this snitch now.
So quickly too, like man.
So quickly, like there was no sort of but I see where they're trying to change the arc, not the arc, but they're changing the next story they're setting up
It's
is
gonna be
this Ramirez, whatever her name is, Rodriguez or whatever. She's gonna be really trying to bring down Tariq
yeah, and I
because
Went
every
back to
time she turns
doing it
around and
again. She was
somebody's
trying to
dead,
bring down goats. See,
right?
this is why I have the issue.
Another St. Patrick, yeah.
The story's going backwards. Like, why are you going back to Rodriguez? She couldn't bring down goats.
She's now a Fed. Yeah, she's now a Fed.
Exactly. She's a Fed. So she automatically, and because of her tie with what's his face,
Mecca.
with Mecca, that's where she comes in at, because now and because she got the bug. That bug was just back in the back of her head, just festering, sitting there waiting for a chance to go after Tariq. So now she's gonna, and where her mistakes are gonna come back is she's gonna be stuck on past stuff and trying to tie up the past instead of hopefully they'll try to gain some future stuff. But I think she's gonna try to, because she's gonna try to grab past stuff to try to stick Ghost Death on him first and foremost. She gonna get back, and because the statute of limitations ain't up on that, so
there's no statute of limitation on murder.
No,
there's no statute of limitation on it, so you can always come back to it.
Right.
And let's be honest. There's some people that's asked about, how it however way they decide to go with it. The reason why I think they should have kept the Mecca character in, because you knew that we have a season 3. You know that they wasn't going to end the show, so you knew that Tariq wasn't going to get out of the game, because if he gets out the game, the show's over, right? So he can't get out the game.
He could get out the game, but then outside forces push him back into the game.
Push him back in. Well, I mean, regardless of if he gets out and gets pulled back, but at the end of the day, he's got to be back in the game in order for this show to move forward, right? So that's why I meant that I think I agree that the Mecca character could have been a good character going forward too. But okay, he's gone. So now they're gonna have it where obviously because he's gone, that forced Tariq to continue to sell drugs. He was supposed to get money from Mecca to try to get out of the game, and with Mecca being killed, it forced him to go. He's gonna have to find a way to still, whatever.
Tommy's gonna get tied in. Tommy's gonna get tied in because Tommy's gonna hook up in Chicago, and Tommy's gonna become a. And he's going to become their distributor.
The connect.
Yeah.
What you think's gonna happen?
He think Tommy's gonna become his distributor, his connect.
You think Tommy's gonna come Tariq's distributor?
Yeah. Tariq's the supplier. Yeah.
Because it seems like Tommy is setting himself up. Tommy ain't trying to leave Chicago and go to California. He's already dead at that. Like, listen, I don't have a boss. I am a boss, and I think that's going to be his. I think this is going to be the rise of Tommy. Hopefully they don't, because he's moving into somebody else's territory, so he's going to end up coming. Already his first move was getting in on the action of a first Rhea.
He's still gonna have to start, because there's crime families out there. He's a free agent. He's gonna have to build up a little bit, because he's gonna probably start off as a hitman or something. He's probably gonna be he's gonna be a mercenary probably at first, and try to figure out who he's going to, work with, and then who he's going to do his own thing, because that's what he said. I'm gonna be my own boss. I ain't working for nobody, and so probably I could see him as a mercenary almost at first, building his own little cake up to do what he's got to do. Now there was a question that it was a comment where he puts one character we still don't know who is Ghost's brother. Mecca could have been perfect.
Exactly.
I kind of agree with that. So just to give context to what he's saying. So Ghost does have a brother who is Spanish, right? Who is a Hispanic, a Latino. it was mentioned in Power.
Good Lord, I hope Effie
Tommy,
is sister.
To,
Jesus Christ.
Tommy actually mentioned it and said and made a comment about his Spanish speaking ass or something like that. He said, and Ghost
And he
mentioned
was
that his
supposed to
brother
went to the
is in the
military.
military.
And
Yeah,
Mecca
Ghost.
was in the military. Like,
Right.
come
Ghost
on.
mentioned his brother went to the military. So it was an opportunity that is a missed opportunity, could be a missed opportunity that they could have connected Mecca that way to him,
I
and the
think
fact that Mecca knew about a lot of
do it.
things.
They'll do it in dialogue. I think they'll still do it, but they'll do it in dialogue.
But I mean, it's no point to do it now. If you do it now,
Yeah.
for what? He's dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
So,
dead, man.
you know, it's a missed opportunity to do it now.
And I also thought a missed opportunity for now. You may find that out. Maybe we'll find that out later, that he could have been Effie's connect, because we still don't know who Effie's connect is.
I believe he was Effie's connect. I believe
was.
that he was. Because Effie knew. I watched that last episode, that other episode over. Effie knew too much about that building for her not to know Mecca. She knew too much about it. She was in there and she turned off. She knew how to turn off the power. She taught Tariq how to wipe the cameras. How would she know how to wipe the camera system? She taught him how to do it, because in the last episode he said Effie taught me how to wipe. She showed me how to wipe the cameras. How would she know that? He had a very complex, state of the art camera system, system. And all of us, I know that she's supposedly smart.
The building system. That's the thing that was crazy.
Yeah, she got into the whole system and wiped it, turned off everything.
So I think in season 3 we're gonna find out that
Mecca was her connect, and that's why I mentioned.
I think he's an agent.
Well, I don't know. That would be interesting if she was an agent, but regardless of what, she's definitely something. Now, a theory. Shout out to my son. My son actually had a theory about her. I mentioned this once before. We know that Effie's brother was murdered, and my son brought up a theory of her brother possibly being the person in the first episode of Power who was murdered by Ghost for stealing from him. Remember, they stole, because they said that Effie's brother died in a robbery. That's what they said, a robbery gone wrong or something like that. Now they robbed Ghost and Tommy, robbed them, and he got caught. And he was like, they had him there trying to find out who was he working for. He never told them who he worked for, and Ghost killed him. Right there. It was the first episode. First time, it was the introduction to Ghost. First time you ever saw Ghost come on the screen and do what he do. And that is a theory that my son brought up that I think it has a lot of merit, because Courtney Kemp has. That'd be a nice twist. Courtney Kemp has said we will find out about Effie's past in season 3, and she already said Effie's mother is whatever, a message, and Effie's brother was murdered. And Courtney Kemp actually put emphasis on that. She was like, "So let's not forget that." That's what she said. So, with that being said,
definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I definitely think it's. So now, this guy said, this person said,
it's definitely.
I think Effie works with Blanca. So this person agrees with what you're saying, Kev. They said, I think Effie works with Blanca. So that would mean she's a Fed, or like how Mecca was a CI or whatever.
I'll tell you, I don't know.
I remember back in the first season, she mentioned something about, didn't she get caught or something like that?
I'd have to research
Effie?
that. Effie. Yeah.
No, she did.
What did she say?
She didn't get caught, but what happened was the only thing I remember is her telling the Connect about getting rid of the competition, which was Tariq. And I remember she snitched out Tariq.
Yeah.
And Braden, I think.
She snitched Tariq out. So that's the reason why, and I hate to like always get them, but I have to go to Power and all of the things that were missed and the little missed opportunities that in in book 2. I mean, Tariq, the reason why, among other reasons, but one of the reasons why Tariq he'll never be Ghost to me is because Tariq tells too many people what's going on. Ghosts don't tell nobody the complete truth.
Yeah.
He's soft. He just looks soft. Right. Sorry. Tariq, if you smack him too hard, he's just gonna start spilling out all the details. Like
right. Other than he's not physically imposing, he tells Effie, he tells Braden, he told Lauren. Like he tells too many people what's going on, and he shouldn't even trust Effie. Effie already snitched him out.
Already screwed him over. Yeah.
So I don't even understand how he trusts Effie.
I'll tell you why. It's because everybody dealing with Mary, and her daughter, then Lauren snitching on him. So even though he didn't find out till later what she did, it's still like a thing, like, oh, she did that, so I need to put her here. So it's like everything that happened ends up pushing him back to Effie. And remember, he started out with
do you blame Lauren for that though?
I don't.
No.
I don't.
Not because of the type of character she was. I don't. She because she probably would have. To be honest with you, if she knew Tariq's true colors, she wouldn't even have messed with him.
Yeah, she wouldn't fuck with him.
She wouldn't have messed with him at all.
Oh, no. Here's where y'all got it twisted. She would have still fucked with him, but she would have tried to. He would have been damaged goods to her, so she would have been her kind of sort of her project to turn him around and to make him right, just like that lawyer, homegirl,
like Angela.
No, not Angela. Well, yeah, kind of like Angela and Ghost, but also like the black lady, the black attorney, who helps him get Raina to be with, which was smart on his part, because it
was really his only move. It was really his only real move that he had to do, because he can't take care of that kid. Nope. He don't have the means. He don't have and his life is too dangerous. So, you can't. Now I do want to before we move on to just a couple of comments on the new show. I do want to say in season 10, I mean in episode 10, what really did it for me. 10. Yeah, right. What really killed it for me was the episode was the when Tariq went in there guns blazing.
Come on.
That was not. That was.
Did I miss Tariq going to the gun range? When did Tariq go to the gun range?
If you're going to Courtney Kemp originally set out to try to make him a new version of Ghost, but not exactly like Ghost, because he knows he's not exactly like Ghost. You're gonna make him a certain way. Keep him a certain way. He is not the guns blazing type of dude. He'll shoot someone.
That's not supposed to be his thing.
Right, but he don't go in with guns blazing, shooting people, shootouts. That's not his thing. He is.
And trust me, people on social media noticed that they were killing them on Twitter when that was going on. They're like, okay, come on now.
He's a tactician. He's a thinker. He's the chess player. He's smart. That's what you should do. He's that dude. He's Meyer Lansky. He's not Lucky Luciano. You know what I'm saying? He's the thinker of that. Meyer Lansky will put a bullet in you, but he's not Lucky Luciano.
The last option.
Straight hunt you down. Right. He won't hunt you down. So
like Tariq will like he had, if he has to. If he's foot, then he'll like he did with but he's not the type to go in there. When did he learn how to shoot?
Exactly.
Right.
Even Tony Soprano.
Like that.
Even
shoot
Tony
like
Soprano
that.
didn't just go out there and just start whacking people. He thought about it. Said, let me think about it. Think about it.
Right.
Think about,
And when he realized there's
did,
no other options, then he said, well, you got to go.
And he did it right. You can't. So that was too out of character.
That threw me off a little bit. And another thing that threw me off, I
Kemp
kind
is
of
trying
wanted
the darnest to erase James St. Patrick.
Yeah, I kind of wanted Mecca to continue and Lorenzo. I think Lorenzo is a terrible character. I think he's a dummy. Like he's a bore. I wish that dude was not in the show anymore.
I would have picked Mecca over him. If you have to get rid of one bald-headed Spanish guy, if you got to get rid of a bald-headed Spanish guy, it should have been.
There's only room for one bald-headed Spanish guy, and it ain't you, sir.
Bald-headed Spanish guy with a beard, and you got they look like they could have been brothers, but.
And before we move on to Forrest, I just have to say, nobody, if I'm a parent, please don't send your child to Stanfield because as I said to my brother, this campus doesn't have more dead bodies left on it than Camp Crystal Lake, and it's still open. It's still open.
Just like Camp Crystal Lake was still
open. Nothing. You got dead professors. You got dead kids in the pool. Then you have another student now that's dead. And they still having class.
There's a
no police. You got Mecca walking on campus with guns. You got Kane can walk on campus. No police stopping them. Like, or what are you doing here? Like, come on, man. Like, how many dead bodies you have to find in order to?
These are some things that I'm hoping. I'm hoping the new showrunner tightens some of these things up because I think what happens is
I want to pause 1 second on that before we move on, and not to cut you off, Wes. But to answer that question as to why all of that stuff happens, particularly with the school and no cops, it's because the school has the donors and the people who actually fund the school are actually involved in politics and police and all of that. So that's why you're able to get the cover-ups of when shit happens, it gets buried because who's telling? Ain't nobody telling.
Right. But with that being said, wouldn't they at least try to protect the brand of the school? Wouldn't they want to have some protection, some extra protection on
this
campus?
This is supposed to be like a highly prestige school.
But that was the whole point of them bringing in Congressman Tate. Them bringing in Congressman Tate was supposed to help rebrand the image of, look, see, we have a congressman that's actually working at our facility. So
but then he came in and then Kerry Milgram's hanging from the chandelier.
So that
it got worse. And the stuff it didn't. They still got blow back. Like it was out there. It was in the news, so they did still get the negative blowback from it. And now you have a total of like two teachers, 2 to 3 students that's all been dead because now you have Zeke who's dead, who was their star student. Now he's dead. Lauren is dead. Right. So you got all these this is all happening in a span of a few months. So I guess what would make it a little more realistic would be, well, we got to do something to kind of, we can't let this keep happening because you can't just keep covering it up because it's not really being covered up because it's on the news. So at some point they're gonna the realistic behind it would be, listen, someone gets killed on campus. Campus is locked down. Period. You guys are having school from your dorms, no class.
From your dorms.
You know what I'm saying? Or something like that.
Like, damn, at least.
Freaking Kerry Milgram hung herself and Tate's in class next week. The next day, about class is canceled. Like,
Right.
All comment.
We should have
You know
known
what I
that.
want
That
to
should have been an
see?
email. That should have been him writing. That should have been an email to
What?
everybody.
Yeah.
One other thing.
Should have been a text message.
Right. One other thing. I know it's petty, but come on, man. The final phone call. This supposed to be 2022, right?
The final what? I didn't hear you.
The final phone call from the cop to Mary J. Blige. That's not a cell phone call. They got the house phone with the rotary in
Is that what you call
2022.
You call it the house phone? I didn't realize. So yeah, the house phone. Well, I mean, that's a little weird, but I guess
what
he
I
called the family
would like
house,
to
right?
see. What I like to see. I know this ain't never gonna happen, but this is what I like to see. Lorenz Tate character, right? When his book come out, Influence, I want to sit there and say, you know what? I moved here from LA and I changed my name. What was your old name? Old Dog.
Old Dog.
Old Dog. Oh my
man,
God.
I be dialing every
Sometimes
week
he sneaks into. Sometimes he sneaks into Old Dog.
He
though.
gets his little. He gets in the old dog mode sometimes in this show. Meaning,
I love
when
he does it.
When he says, "Boy,"
I ain't playing with you, boy.
Stop,
yeah,
stop playing with me, boy.
Sometimes it sneaks out.
Like, oh, it comes
That's
out.
what I'm saying.
I love Lorenz.
If he was to do that, if he said, "I used to be called back in my younger days, and I was wild and reckless and carefree. I used to be called Old Dog in Los Angeles. I moved here from Los Angeles as a teenager. Man, I watched this show every day. It'd be the greatest show ever. Just saying.
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, well, he's a strong actor, so he can definitely carry a show. I think we lost him in Hollywood. He popped out, but just so jumping right on to the new show. So now the book 4, Force, that's Tommy's show, and it premiered, and I thought it was a pretty good premiere. I'm gonna be honest with you, it was kind of more refreshing for me because I felt like I was watching a power show again. Meaning, no, let me rephrase that. It was good to see some adults on stage, on camera. When you're watching book 2, Ghosts, it's most of the characters they're kids. They're college kids. Raising Kanan is talking about.
They're still called college adults. They're not college kids.
They're kids to me. So I'm watching college kids. They're still kids. Then most of them are under 20 in this the characters, with the exception of Zeke's ass. But most of them was under 20. So they're kids. And I like the fact that Force, it's adults. It's adult. There's no kids in this show. It's there. To me, it's just a whole nother dynamic. I feel a little better about it. It's going to be more a certain type of climate of it and tone. It's definitely going to be more violent. We know that already. It's going to be more violent because of the tone, because of the character. It has to be. It's got to match Tommy's his whole thing. So it's going to definitely be more violent. I think it's going to feel more like the original Power show, but it's going to be even more. It may even be more violent than that. Because Tommy is pure. He's an enforcer. He's not the thinker. He's not the whatever. He's an enforcer. He's going to have to learn to become that boss type of guy because he doesn't know how to be a boss right now. Not yet. Not really. He knows how to be a. He knows how to be a boss. He doesn't know how to be a leader. Not yet.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He doesn't know how to be a leader yet because he's always been the enforcer. It was Ghost and him. Ghost was always the leader, the thinker, the planner, the strategic person. And also he had, Ghost could do things on his own. But then you have Tommy, who was the enforcer, right? So I put up a poll. I had put up a poll at the beginning that talked about I wanted people to take the poll of who did they think or which show do they think is the best power show running now or will be the best power show running, because you only got one episode of Force. I personally, my favorite actually was Raising Kanan. I think Raising Kanan was done the best as far as the acting, um, aesthetically, the shots. It's like they had, because you got to remember they had all these years doing the first Power show and then the second Power show to get Raising Kanan right. And I think the acting was the best in that show so far. I love I'm liking the acting in the new show because I like the actors in it. But right now, I'm still with Raising Kanan with the actors in that show, and that also has because we're talking about young Kanan, that also has kids in it. They're high school kids,
Yeah,
so yeah, yeah, they're high school. They're real kids. They're not college kids or young adults. They're kids. But most of the drama, other than Kanan, of course, revolves around the adults of the show. You know, so but I think overall the Power Universe is going to be a strong thing for years to come. I agree with Kev. 50 is going. He's doing his thing. He's taking over Sunday nights, and but I believe the Power Universe is. I think it's in good hands now. Courtney Kemp has moved on, and she's still obviously gonna always have credit as the creator, but she's no longer the showrunner. She was never the showrunner for Raising Kanan or Force, but she's no longer the showrunner for Book 2 Ghost. Now, what takes? We'll see where it goes from there. She apparently, if she's not doing none of those, if they do bring out influence, she probably won't run that show either. So, although she really loves Lorenz Tate and she's happy, that's what she's trying to get that going for him. But let's not forget, Lorenz Tate actually came into this whole universe through Amari Hardwick.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who yeah. Somebody said bye bye, C Kemp. He's the one that actually put Tate onto this because they're really good friends, and he Tate was offered to come into this series way in Power. He was supposed to be that other lawyer character, Terry Silver, at first. He was offered that role. It didn't work out because he had like a schedule conflict or whatever. And I'm glad it didn't, because I wouldn't have wanted him to play that role because that role is done, right? You wouldn't have got enough of him. So they kind of helped brought in this new character, and he was perfect for it. So,
and it would have changed the story if they would have brought his real life brother in, because now his real life is going to be who killed him.
Right. It would have changed the story altogether. I do like that they brought in his real life brother, who's actually obviously an actor as well, plays the cop, and I think they'll be okay when they get that show going. But overall, 50, is really spearheading, because he stays behind these shows. He is the mouthpiece, he is the cheerleader. And that's why he is an executive producer, because he puts it all out there. He puts his name and his brand on the line for this, and he intertwines them. Now, I'll say one last thing about Raising Kanan. I really wish, although I think all of the theme songs are great, I really wish they would change the theme song of Raising Kanan to Streets Need a Body. That song is fire. I'm like, there was a song in there for people, for context for the people, where one of the characters in Raising Kanan does a song with two of the characters do a song, and that song became like a running theme throughout the season, and it's about It's about Queens, it's about Southside Queens. The streets need a body, and I think that would be great if that was the new theme song for Razor Cade, because it still tells the story of the basically the first season. So I thought that'd be cool. That's just a preference of mine. But I think Force is gonna be a good show. I'm glad that it's, I don't know. I feel good about it being adults again. Hey man, for my own selfish reasons, I'm like, I don't want to look at kids all the time, and I know they're young adults, but I don't want to look at college kids all the time. I want to see some adults do adult things. So,
Would I be
we'll
wrong in saying that one of the main reasons to keep the Power series going is because and maybe it's me, maybe it just seems to be the only time where a 50 Cent song in the last year has become relevant.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Like he's kind of made, and with that being said, I'm glad you mentioned that, because 50 Cent did announce that he's going to make like a final album. I think he's going to retire from music, and he's going to make like a final album that he's got coming out, music album. But yeah, he's actually been remaining relevant music wise just off his soundtrack songs. Like, and he's only
Yeah.
been doing like theme songs really for these shows.
This is the
I
way
think it's smart.
But both of the theme
Mhm.
songs that he has done for Power
Three. He's
and
done three now. He's
I haven't
done
heard
well.
the
He's
third
done a
one yet.
total of four.
But they've been
He's done,
fired.
no, I'm sorry. He's done. It's four shows, but one theme song crossed over two shows. So
Yeah.
what did you say now?
But the two I'm aware of were fired. And I'm like, yo, why can't you do an album that's got that kind of heat? Like, what happened? I don't
Yeah,
know
they
if
were
that's
fired. They are fired.
Well,
Because you think of Big Rich Town. Big
because
Rich Town is fine.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
What?
He's not putting music together really because he's doing the TV stuff, so he don't
Yeah,
have time.
he doesn't really have the time. He's got 11 shows in production, like, or in circulation. He's got a lot of shows. That's
He's
being greenlit.
He's like
Yeah,
that. He's like the guy from In Living Color. Like, I'm the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker.
Yeah, he's got
I
them
forget
all,
that
man.
routine.
He's got a lot of shows that are being greenlit, and then some of them in development. I think he had a total at one time 11 shows in development. He had 9 definitely, but you got to think about it. He's got all the power shows. He got BMF. He's got a new show that he's doing. He's got For Life. That's another show that he had going. So he's got he's got a new show that he's doing that's talking about the death, trying to solve the crimes of hip hop, of famous hip hop pioneers and hip hop heads, Tupac, Biggie, Jam Master Jay, all the different crimes, murders. He's got a show coming out that's going to be talking about solving those murders, trying to solve those cold cases or closed cases. So he's got a lot. He's got a show about like queen pins coming out where it's like more like a documentary style show talking about queen pins, like women that have
But
been in the game.
there are a couple of handfuls of them, and
Yeah.
man, those stories are going to be good.
Yeah, they're gonna be good. So he's got a lot on his plate, so I can understand why he can't do music. And really, why would he do music? Because he knows 50 Cent stays to today's climate. He know that these kids ain't really checking for his music, so he's not gonna do it. But I think he will do well putting out a final album, like this is my last album, because they're gonna want to get it. And he's probably gonna go real big with it. He's gonna have modern, people of today on it. He's gonna have some features. He's gonna have features that we know him for on there. He's gonna probably do it really big, and I think that will do well. But I think 50 has been done with music.
Yeah, and be honest with you, I would be a little disappointed if feature heavy because I'm tired of. I need for me, and this is just me personally. I need for artists to go back to being artists and carrying a whole album and
Yeah.
being able to, just like actors carry out, some actors have to carry a movie. Some of them
Yeah.
need to learn to be able to carry a whole album. And some of them are very capable of doing it. This feature,
Some of them they are very capable of doing it, but just like I talked about, and I brought this up before you came on, but you're one of the big contributors to this theory as well. It's just the young people. They just like with the movies, they refuse to go back and watch the old movies. So you got to find another way to present it to them. The young people, they're like, oh, now like I said, because of the show, visual of the show, he was able to present these new theme songs and stuff like that. And 50 wasn't an artist that didn't have a lot of features. He wasn't an artist that had a lot of features, because Get Rich or Die Trying did not have a lot of features on it. It was pretty much him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty much him. Maybe like Eminem and Snoop Dogg. Those were the only two people. And Nate Dogg. Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, Eminem. That's all I remember being featured on that album.
Mobb
Get
Deep.
Rich or Die Trying. Mobb Deep. Not on Get Rich or Die Trying, no. Not on
Yeah.
Get Rich. They weren't in that. They weren't on Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah.
The songs he did with them, that wasn't on Get Rich or Die Trying. That was a song that he did with them on their album that came out on G Unit Records. But Mobb Deep was not featured on. They did not feature on Get Rich or Die Trying. That was only, like I said, Snoop
Maybe that was
Dogg.
just a remix. Maybe that was
Yeah,
just a remix.
it might have been a remix, but Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and Nate Dogg from 21 Questions. That's it. That's what. But I agree. I would love to see that again, but it won't, because 50 is too in tune with today's world. He's not going to do that because he probably feels it won't work.
Somebody, it's what the industry is producing, and to me, this is why we have a flood of we have a flood of talent, but because we don't get to see who's really who, because everybody's too busy. We only getting 16 bars. We not getting the hot 16s. We're not getting 5. Of just full songs put together, and the tie is back. With this is the reason why TV is working right now, is because because these characters, they're taking the time to focus on these characters and on full characters, but they understand that the main story is what's driving everything, and they're having like with Ozark, for example, that whole family is the key to carrying it on, and then the side characters, are the fluff and the fill. The whole thing's moving.
I agree.
That's what the feature artist always was. And the feature artist was never to for it to carry a whole film, to carry a whole record. And I know I'm getting off track here, but even with early hip hop, like with Tribe Called Quest, if you were a crew, then a crew was a crew. And then if somebody came in, like the Rhymes came in, that was an actual feature. And it's not to knock other features, but it's like that made the record even that much more special, because you had a Busta Rhymes appearing. That's what makes a TV episode that much more better, when you have an artist, whether it be a hip hop artist or a singer or whoever the case may be, show up in that episode. It's like, oh shit, it's featuring so and so, or like just say it'll never happen, but just to say Charlize Theron comes in as a drug dealer, and they try to tie in the Fast and Furious thing with her, and they see her in. That's a
Exactly. That's a feature that makes, that's something that really makes an impact, as opposed to just being flooded with stuff like that. I did do with the poll that I did. I'm looking at, so it says 58% of the votes was for Book Two Ghosts. It was the best Power Universe show right now. 58% said Book Two Ghosts. 25% said Book for Force, and only 17% said Raising Canaan. So Book Three, Raising Canaan. So according to the audience at the moment, they were not. Yeah, I guess Raising Canaan is their least favorite. Book Three.
I would have thought book two and Raising Canaan would have been on the same level. But you know what? I get it. I wish your brother was still on.
Yeah, I
I
know,
get
but that we lived with those characters a little more, so maybe that's why people are loving it more.
but I think I also think I get why people aren't really gravitating towards Raising Canaan because it's more because with Ghost, I mean
We know how it's gonna end.
right. Well, with Ghost and with Power Book Two, the settings are a little bit more different. It's not as it's bright. They turned
Right,
the light. They turned the light on. Yeah, I can't believe I'm using that
right,
phrase.
right.
But with Raising Canaan had more of a
It's gritty.
it's more gritty. It has more of an
It's
edge.
gritty.
To me,
And,
it's more
and,
dirtier
and
than
once
violent.
and once again, Kev, I think it's back to that same thing. Getting the youngins to get acclimated to the old school look.
Well,
Because it's
yeah.
shot very old school. Like Raising Canaan is shot like it was like where it took place back in the 90s. It feels
Mhm.
it gives you that feel, the tone, you know.
Also, the tone is more 80s than
Yeah,
90s.
80s, more 80s, yeah, more 80ish, and then even 90. But yeah, so I think that might I guarantee you that turned some of the younger generation off. Guaranteed.
Yeah, and a lot
Guaranteed.
of
But the,
references they couldn't get the references in there also because of the time
yeah,
period.
because of the
That so
time
that
period, yeah.
and I think also Raising Canaan is catering more towards New York. Like
Yeah, definitely.
see that's the excuse my language. That's the fucked up thing about when you do shows like this. Because you can
Mm.
do a show that's New York based and
Well, yeah, well, Raising Canaan is actually focusing on Queens more so than anything. But yeah,
you're right.
yeah,
But my point is that when you do a show that's based out of New York and specifically that gets like specific like that, like it 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 only picks up a handful of followers
hmm
outside of whereas you do BMF is going to attract everybody because it's more of a and it's
global.
stupid.
Yeah,
It's more
yeah. And plus, it's a little more global because it's up out of somewhere else other than New York. Um, let's face it, the Power Universe takes place in New York, but now it's expanded because now Tommy is in Chicago. So that expanded the range of the Power Universe because everything in Book Two take mostly took place in New York as well. Um,
here's the thing about it though. It took place in New York, but you didn't. That New York wasn't the character like how Queens, like how
Queens is a
with
character in
Yeah.
Raising Canaan. Yeah,
it,
Queens
it,
is like it's like
like
Gotham City. Queens is a
yeah.
character in Raising Canaan. It's part of the story. It's part of the storytelling. That's why I like that song. Streets need a body. But
I
yeah,
kind of like that
it's
song. That
uh, uh,
I like how that goes. Streets need a body. Like
yeah,
wow.
that streets need a body. Yeah, yeah, say your goodbyes. Yeah, that song is hot, boy. That song is dope. I'm like, yo, that should be the theme song of the show because that's what he's talking about. He's talking about with Queens. He was telling a story about how Queens, the streets need a body. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, this is fire. It's fire. But
Love the whole
um,
dynamic of that too, of how they kind of touched on how like it's the cast is out here really putting in work ain't
Yeah,
the one on record.
yeah.
Talk.
They're the ones, right? And then he touched on it because that's a character in the show who wrote basically that song about Kanan's life,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and and 50 who voices over, who's narrating it as as older Kanan from a post Thomas perspective. He's narrating it saying, yeah, you see, that's how these rappers do. Always rapping about shit they ain't done in their life. Rapping about somebody else's life. Because that's what, he's on stage. He's enjoying his friend perform and his cousin perform, but he's listening to the lyrics. He's like, yo, this dude is talking about my life.
Yo, he was looking at the stage crazy, like, nigga, you
Yo,
ain't do that.
He's like, you didn't do that. And on top of that, it's like you snitching right now. And he's looking at him like, yo, you rapping about my life. And it really kind of came back to bite him because the girl that he's dealing with was like, yo, what's going on? I heard, people who knew them was figuring the stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yo, dude, what's going on, man? But it's a great song. But he was literally this dude is not a street dude like that. He was just a rapper. And he wrote about the streets. And it's hard. It was hard. But it wasn't him. It wasn't his life.
Again, but it wasn't his life by disassociate. It wasn't his life by association.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't life at all.
It wasn't like he hung around them and he witnessed a lot of it, but he didn't do it.
But he didn't get his hands.
Right, he didn't get his hands dirty. He witnessed when Kanan shot that kid. He witnessed that, but he wasn't part of it. He didn't do nothing in it. So, but that show was heavy, I thought, because the fact that and I love, that was one of my favorite characters was Lulu. He was the enforcer. Lulu was like the Tommy of that show because he's the enforcer, and he had to kill that young kid. Man, that was tough. That was a tough scene to watch, man. He had to kill the kid. He took him out, got him some ass. Gave him a good time. Yeah, he did. He straight up. He got a girl.
Got some ass.
Because he knew he was gonna have to kill him, but the kid trusted him, so he didn't know he was gonna get killed. He pulled him out. Yo, man, let's go. You gonna have the time of your life. Got him a girl, rocked his world, man. He's in there. Then had to take him out.
Listen, I know it's everywhere, but that's what niggas from Queens do. Niggas from will, and it's dudes and chicks. It ain't just dudes. It's dudes and chicks. Chicks will set out. I know plenty of cats who went out to Queens thinking they going out to smash or possibly hook up with a new chick. And they getting
a lot of girls set you up in Queens too. They'll get you set up.
And it's a house.
That sound like a song title right there. They set you up in Queens.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What you call it? Talked about it, and a lot of people talk about it. Rakim and Know the Ledge. They came out of the apartment. He set me up, sprayed with automatics. He wet me up. He was out with the girl. You know what I'm saying? And he comes out of there, and she set him up. He gets shot up. I guess I didn't know the ledge, right? So, yeah, it's just that show. That was intense to me, that scene, because he didn't want to do it. Obviously, he didn't really want to do it, but he had to. It was part of the thing, because that kid was going around claiming that he shot. That's the whole thing about the streets need a body. That's the whole premise of it, because Kanan and his friend shot someone, right? Then they shot him. It shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have shot him. And it was a misunderstanding. So now you gotta, in order to prevent a war between rival gangs, right? In order to prevent a war between rival gangs, the streets need a body. Somebody's got to pay for this, because you killed somebody that shouldn't have been killed, and his family, his people are angry. They need a body. The streets need a body for this to go away. That's pretty much what it was. And that's why that kid was the odd man out, because they wasn't going to kill Kanan. That was that was his nephew. He wasn't gonna kill Kanan. The other kid who was part of it got killed, and that was the body that the streets needed to calm down. That's what it is. So I think that to me, that's why it really is fitting for that song to be the theme song, even though it's not, because that's what really the first season was about. You know what I mean? So, there was other things, but I think it was good though. I think it was really good. I commend them all. So wrapping up the show next week, we'll come back in with Diosa was supposed to be with us today, but she's also a new mother, and her, she had to tend to the baby, so it is what it is. We'll get her back. We do appreciate her agreeing to come back on, but things happen, man. Once again, everybody, we want to thank. I want to shout out to India for coming in and showing love. That was dope. Shout out to Joseph, of course. This here, Tux Kasim, who was chiming in. Thank you very much. Everyone else that came in that dropped in and dropped a little love on us, we appreciate it. I once again, from the top of the show, I apologize for the sketchy internet. I'm in a hotel, fighting COVID, and I just wanted to be able to bring the show to us as much as we could. So forgive the sketchy internet. We'll be back up, powered and running next week the right way. So that's it, man. Everybody, don't be don't make decisions you don't need to make like I did. And if your gut tells you to stay home, stay home. So, but still wear your mask and social distance and do what you're supposed to do while you're out there. And hopefully you can stay away from this madness called COVID. And
if you keep thinking that it's not, hopefully it doesn't catch up to you. And if you do get it, hopefully you get mild symptoms and it passes you with no.
I was fortunate. I'm blessed that I did not get heavy symptoms. I am a chronic asthmatic. I've been doing some things to take care of that side of it, and that's always a concern, because this type of thing can definitely trigger an asthma attack. So I've been handling that side of things, being that the COVID symptoms weren't hitting me hard, so I was just making sure the asthma doesn't hit me now.
And luckily, I think the version, variant, is not really a respiratory issue. So that's
right.
The other thing.
It's not. It stays up top more. It's more up top. It doesn't go into that lower respiratory and really attack it like the OG version of it.
I the original COVID. And
the original COVID, which I believe is evolved so much because I believe we've kind of reached some sort of herd immunity to it, and that's where all these variants are coming from.
And why they break and why they're not as strong.
As the original OG one. And thank God you survived it, Kev. It's like it was, and you were going through it, and that's something, man. The fact that just to make it through that is crazy, something to talk about. But the point is, people, it's still out here, man. We're still in a pandemic. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to tell you to live your life in fear. I'm just trying to tell you to be smart. Be smart.
Thank you. You can't say that enough. You have to be smart, whether you're going to an office, whether you're and listen, once again, and not to drag out the point, but like you said, it's just decisions. We all went to an office party. On my end, we all went to an office party, and my grandson, I took him that Friday morning. I took him to go get a biopsy for what they saw in his mouth, and we threw up in the garage at the children's hospital, so I couldn't even get him to get inside. So I was exposed right then and there.
Yeah.
But luckily, it dodged me. Like I dodged a bullet
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I went to the party, and people got sick, and then
Hmm.
I like shit. I'm like, yo, and then to kind of find out it wasn't even from me. It was from what? It was from
Yeah.
somebody else,
Exactly.
one of my other coworkers,
Someone else. Right. Right.
and it just
I mean, I went.
it
I'm gonna be honest, man. I went to this festival. I had I double masked. I had double mask at one point. Um, they when they did the awards and gave out the awards, it was in the actual theater. I didn't even go in. I was standing in the hallway. I was standing in the aisle, or not in the aisle, in the hallway, outside of the theater, looking in. I didn't even go in and sit down. I was trying to be very careful, but I obviously made a mistake somewhere. I might have, touched something because this one here is very easier to catch, or just as easy or more easy to catch because it stays on surfaces longer and stuff like that. So, I could have touched something, a door, the elevator button, or whatever the case may be, and I didn't. I wasn't on point. I had my sanitizer with me. This exact sanitizer right here I had with me, and I was, whenever I shook someone's hand, I used it. But
well,
I
listen,
may have forgot to use it when I touched the door, or I might have forgot to use it when I touched
and
the elevator button. You know what I mean? So
that's all it takes. Because
yep.
I was trying to figure out when I was trying to figure out for the life of me how I got COVID when I got it, and like I said, I'm jacked up. Like my legs are not working right.
Yeah.
And obviously I got the kidney failure, whatever the case may be, from
Yeah.
it as well. But I realized where I got my COVID from. As careful as I was being going shopping at night, shopping when there was
Mhm.
nobody in the stores and going to Rite Aid to pick up stuff. You know
Right.
where I messed up at? Opening shit with my mouth because my
What?
hands
Oh,
don't work
oh,
right.
Wait.
So
Why was
when
you
you
opening things with your mouth?
like potato chips, like a bag of chips or something. You
yeah,
think,
like
or
you
maybe
go
like a
down,
soda.
and it's pulling the snot open, so you use your teeth to pull it open.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, I never liked doing that. I never did that. I used to do it when I was a kid. I used to open bottles with my teeth when I was a kid, just like
Mhm.
really stupid. But I didn't. I stopped doing that a long time ago. One time I ripped my mouth open trying to do that,
Oh
and,
wow.
and that's how I learned. That's how I learned the hard way. I was trying to open like a bottle of like Yoo-hoo or something like that, and it
Hey,
opened and it
Yo, you know, I've been
it
thinking. I
tore
have
me
not.
up.
Somebody had a Yoo-hoo. A couple weeks ago, I said I can't remember the last time I had a Yoo-hoo.
they still taste good because
I
It
we
still
know,
still.
but
tastes
but
good.
I like I
There's
kind of like
such a
miss it.
Yoo-hoos are such a cheat. It's not even chocolate milk, it's chocolate
Nope.
drink, but it's so good.
That and the strawberry
It's,
one. Me and my granddaughter, we drink them all the time. When I take her to Dunkin'
Oh
Donuts,
man, some strawberry. Damn, strawberry quick. Oh man, I remember that. I used to love that stuff.
yeah. The Yoo-hoos are
Good
like,
old days.
because I remember and another hard experience I had. Yoo-hoo messed me up when it came to chocolate milk because I thought chocolate milk, all chocolate milk was like that. I had because Yoo-hoo, you could take that, it doesn't have to be refrigerated. You can open the can of that and just drink it, right? It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be refrigerated. One time, I found a carton of Quick that was sitting out, and I thought it was like Yoo-hoo, and I drank it, and it was sour as I don't know what. It was terrible. It was curdy. It was freaking cottage cheese, bro. I had such a bad experience with it. It was terrible. But yeah, I was like, yo, wait a minute. No, chocolate milk. That ain't chocolate milk. But yeah. But yeah, so with it being Black History Month, I'm hoping by the last show of the month, I'm trying to set up the colorism show. I'm working on some actors now and people in the industry um, of different colors and different backgrounds, and I really want that show. I mean, it doesn't have to go on in this month, but I mean, I was just planning it, and hopefully it does. But that's gonna be a real intense show because I want to just. I'm not gonna say much. I really just want the actors to give their experiences, and then we will. I believe us as the panel, as the Jedi Council, we can comment on it or maybe analyze it. But I really am here to let them tell their story. I want people to tell. I want people to tell their story of how they feel or why they feel they were involved in colorism, in this industry or something like that. Uh, I think it'll be real interesting. I've already got a couple of actors that are definitely going to come on. And they're not all black. We're not because colorism is just not just happen in the African African American or black community, right? It happens in other cultures very badly too. So
boils down to you being black.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, trust me. Yes, for as far as I've only experienced it in the black culture, but I know others that have experienced it in the Latin culture is really bad with it. The Latino culture is bad.
And that's the crazy thing with colorism.
And the Asian culture is bad with it.
It's just as bad.
Especially the Asian culture.
The Asian and Indian culture is
Indian. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's
you
really
kidding
bad.
me? It's really bad.
That's the key thing with nobody ever touches on.
Yeah. And that's why I want it to be that way.
Even though it spreads out to other groups, but it's still your own people that you experience it from.
Someone who's been on the show a couple times, we love her, Diana Durango. She's definitely posed to come back. She's Colombian, and a lot of people may or may not know that. You know what I mean? And so right out the gate with the Colombian culture, it's really bad with colorism and things like that from not just in this industry, in life. In their lives. So she's a very she's obviously I know Colombians that look like her, and I know Colombians that look like Scarlett. Shout out to Scarlett. You know what I mean? So Scarlett has the Colombian look that looks a little Asian. She could pass for Asian. Her Colombian. Then you got Colombians that are darker than me.
Well, Scarlett, you can look at Scarlett and tell Scarlett has her native genes. Scarlett, her native genes are heavy.
Yeah,
like you tell her native genes are heavy.
Yeah,
there's no. She only speaks the Spaniard language, but there's as far as I could tell by her skin complexion and just the way she looks and her bone structure, she's an Aboriginal of descent.
Yeah,
her so strong of that.
Yeah, it's very strong. So I mean, I might be able to get her on too. That would be cool to have her come on. So we're working on that panel now, and we'll hopefully have it set up for the end of the month. So yeah, that's it, man. That's all I got. Everybody, I just wanted to spend a little time to let people know. Yeah, my experience with COVID was, I'm blessed that I didn't have as bad of experience as Kevin did, and I'm glad that he came out of it, and I'm glad that I'm coming out of this. But everybody, to take this thing serious, man. Continue to take it serious. It's not going away no time soon. So you got to be smart. Don't stop your life. Don't live your life in fear. I'll never tell anyone to do that. But make smart decisions going forward. That's all I got. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.